Hey, good evening, everyone. Well, it's evening here, and it was actually snowing a little while ago, but I hope this video finds you well, as always. I wanted to do a brief video on spiritual guides because I've been watching some stuff on that recently, like who are your spiritual guides, that sort of thing. And I think a good starting point that I always begin with for myself, when learning about this stuff, is to remind myself that infinity is real. What that means is, space, time, it's eternal. These concepts are real. The afterlife is real. So we are immortal. We came from physical evolution. One day we will die, but there is a process in place to help preserve life from one realm to the next. And that being said, as infinity is real, really there are there's so much possibility as far as what's available to us, and some of that's explored, but I like to kind of expand on these ideas a little bit as well. And I think spiritual guides is a great one great concept to start with. Meaning, I've seen a lot of videos where people say, you have spiritual guides assigned to you. True. There's also an infinite array or amount and type and sorts of spiritual guides or beings that are waiting to be called upon too, that you can ask. So it's not like you just have one. I've seen some videos that say, you just have one, or even there's two, and they switch places throughout your life. It's really, to be honest, it's up to you. So nothing is predetermined. There's a ton that have signed up, waiting to speak to you and meet you. Ones that are assigned, ones that aren't. But the sky's the limit, really. But really, what's most important is it comes down to you and which way you'd like to move forward. So, in other words, if you can really ask anybody to be your spiritual guide, whether they're a spiritual being like an angel or not. Could be a family member, one you knew or never even met before, that lived a few hundred years ago. So it's a bit of a misconception to say that it's limited, and so I just kind of want to expand on that a little bit. So, and for example, like spiritual guide. Really, what it comes down to with psychic abilities and that sort of thing, it's communication. That's it, and they're here to help and teach you. In my case too, I ask them to keep me safe, so I always ask them to guard my car, my home, that sort of thing. And I use this as practice too, because I'm constantly tuning into safety, just to practice hearing, and mostly hearing is what I use. But for example, I'll ask, "Is it safe?" over and over and over, and just listen for the response. And again, it's just not one person. I asked, it's kind of funny, and you can have fun with this too. Angels are a great example. You can talk to anyone you want to, and there's so many whose names are real that are not even documented on planet Earth. But we can use what's here to start that process. So you have a name and an idea and who to call out to. So at one point I was just, I forget, this was a few years ago, but I had actually asked for, well, you know what, can you guys all be my guides? Absolutely. Already signed up for it. Just waiting to be called upon. But also, if you do ask as well, they are absolutely all willing to do that for you. So it's to avoid any confusion. Like when I asked to be, unless I specifically asked for, okay, Michael or Metatron, for example, or whichever angel I'm speaking to specifically, is it safe? And they'll answer me. But usually when I call out in general, is it safe, you guys? I just ask for a voice to be heard, like a collective voice or that sort of thing, to avoid any confusion in the air and things like that. So Really, spiritual guide is up to you what you would like to define that as. So they're there for information and to help. They cannot heal you. That is out of off limits, actually. They can't even attempt to do that sort of thing because the possibility of them affecting physical matter, which is possible, is not allowed. Again, we're evolution. They come from the non-physical realm of existence. We evolved into physical. It's just like with my mind, for example. I can't move my car unless I step on the pedal. So we, in my mind, is non-physical energy, just like they are. They simply can't. Might be able to. Just let you know, miracles are real, and healing techniques and stuff like that is possible to be able to affect physical matter, but rare and very difficult. And it's not something that they'd have to practice on us, basically, or do that sort of thing. And it's just not allowed. So really, it's communication. Communication involves sharing information, of course, but no healing and safety. They can keep you safe. They can help you with health as well. Like health information, but again, they can't heal. So, there are. So really, it's really anyone that you want to ask, to be honest. So remember, infinite possibility means they can be in infinite locations at the same time, hold infinite conversations. All things are possible. So all the spiritual beings that are documented on Earth are real, actually. So, for example, like the ones you see in the movies, like Greek deities, Zeus, real. Thor in the Marvel movies, real. Thor loves tacos, by the way. I talk to him a lot, believe it or not. So they're all real beings, and they're all there to help you. All you got to do is just ask once, and that's it. And again, you can also bring or ask anybody. So I had asked, and this is a great example. Like this was a while ago, I forget, a couple years or so. I have to find out. But like as I come across people and meet them, like I was a real big fan of Kimbo Slice. You guys can Google him. Kevin Ferguson, I think is his name, but he was a street fighter, and I watched all his videos. I'm a big fan of like fighting and that sort of thing. And then he eventually had a huge fan base and tried to make it into mixed martial arts. He ended up dying, unfortunately, of some medical conditions. He's one of the coolest guys ever. And I've talked to him a lot too, and just so cool. And I asked him to be part of my security detail. And he said, yeah, at all times, which is so cool. Remember, in eternity, you don't have to sleep if you don't want to. You can be awake at all times. And even if someone speaks a different language, that's another video I was planning on doing. But the methods are here, just like we have methods. If you imagine we have technology where we can communicate using Google Talk or Google Voice, and we're just getting started with that. The technology is simply infinite in the afterlife. So you can speak to anybody. He's from America, by the way, so he speaks English. But just saying, you can. They will always be able to speak your language, so you can communicate clearly and effectively. So I also asked Pat Tillman. I don't know if you're familiar with that. He was an NFL player. Really cool guy too, just like one of the nicest people. Both of them, by the way, just super, super nice. And he played for Arizona Cardinals, I think, for a while. But he was in the news, like the national news, because it was a huge deal. He quit the NFL to go become an Army Ranger to go fight in the war on terror. So he gave up his NFL career for patriotism, and to fight for the country, and ended up dying, unfortunately. So. But just a cool story and a great guy, and both just solid guys that I look up to and have been talking to quite a bit. And I asked him to be a part of my security detail too, and he said yes. So cool, and they're available to talk to 24/7, and they're part of watching over, the things I need for safety, and I can talk to them anytime. Just so generous with their time and their willingness to do that. So a great example of how you can just, whether you want to call them spiritual guides or just friends or whatever you want to, you can talk to anybody and just ask them, if they're available to, and they're free to share any information. Like if I just want to talk to them about, hey, how does this work over there, that sort of thing. Immediately available. Remember, once we get over there, we have access to infinite knowledge at the speed of, it's immediate. So anything can be known, anything can be shared, and so they're available for that too. Just super cool. I thought I'd share that. So another good example of how really anyone you can talk to that you'd like to, assigned, yes, but you can also ask, and it goes from there. So it's not limited. I really wanted to point that out, and have you can have fun with it, and you can talk to people and see if they want to help out. And most people will, believe it or not. Again, when you're over there and you don't have to eat or sleep, and you're made whole, and you feel great, and you're healthy at all times, you'll never age, you'll never die. You have infinite information available to you, and you can communicate any language. This just scratches the surface again. This is what people are part of. This is what we're going to be a part of too when we die. So these sorts of things are possible, and I just wanted to help kind of contextualize that a little bit and expand on that. So I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to share it. And hopefully you found it informative and entertaining. As well, but really cool stuff. I love learning about it and being able to share it. So any questions, of course, if you like this, that'd be great. Feel free to like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and I really appreciate your time as usual. Hope everyone is doing great, and I wish you well, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.